Knee High by the 4th of July has different meanings for everyone, including how fast does it grow after that timetable? Well, Rachel Fishback is a farmer from southeast Iowa near Washington. She takes a can of paint, sprays it on that corn stalk, and then we watch it grow and how quickly it grows. Those of you who grow corn on a regular basis, you know how fast, but not everyone does, and that is part of Rachel's story. She loves to tell the story of agriculture in many different venues, including online. We're going to talk about her social media experience, who watches her videos, who she used to watch, and telling the story of agriculture. She has a strong passion for it, and that is today's MTOM podcast. I'm your host, Paul Yeager. New episodes come out each and every Tuesday. Now, let's go into the farm fields for a couple of different segments where we talk with Rachel Fishback. You know her online as Iowa Farm Mama. She gives us a tour from the cornfields of Iowa. Okay, so I didn't exactly pick the hottest day of the summer, but it's not exactly cool out there, is it today, Rachel?
No, but it's beautiful.
It's corn growing weather, right?
It is. It's nice, hot, humid, 90-degree weather here in southeast Iowa.
Tell us exactly where you're at.
So yeah, I am south of Washington, Iowa, down north of Brighton. I farm corn and soybeans with my little brother Vinny here on our family farm.
How long have you been an active farmer?
So with my brother, I want to say 5 years, but I've been active in farming since 2000.
And you grew up, did you grow up in the same area that you're working now?
Yes. My brother and I, we both graduated from Washington High School back in the day, and we grew up. Actually, this farm was where our great-grandparents lived, and when we were growing up, my dad had cattle here. My dad farmed the fields, and we did that until high school.
Rachel, where did the idea to start spray painting corn come from?
Yeah, so one of the ladies I was on a barn quilt committee with, Julie Mangold, she had shared it a couple years ago. A co-op was doing it up in, it was either Wisconsin or Minnesota. And I showed my brother, and he was like, you could do that. And so we've been doing it every summer since. When the corn gets about knee high, I spray paint it, and then we watch it grow over the next couple of weeks and until we harvest it.
You grew up on the farm. Did you ever experiment with something like this when you were younger, too?
No. Besides making mud cakes with the chicken eggs in the sandbox, that's about it. But no, I never really experienced with it.
Is your experiment more for the agriculture crowd, or is it for the non-agriculture crowd?
You know, I'd like to say both. I have farmers that say that they watch because they just want to see how much it grew from the day before. And then for people that, you know, I was just a flyover state. You hear that saying a lot, and, you know, it's just cornfields. And there's a lot that happens out in our cornfields. And so it's fun to me. You know, I come down here to check the crops, to report back to my brother. And so it's also a way for me to pass the time and have fun.
What's the primary mode of your distribution of your progress?
So I started out TikTok. Several years ago, I started my Iowa Farm Mama account, and I've just gotten less shy and more confident in posting it for, I would post pictures always on Facebook, but I was really apprehensive about posting videos because I didn't know what people would think. And I just started posting videos on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn.
What has been the reaction from your kids?
So at first they thought I was goofy. They grew up farming and they were like, what are you doing? But now they're pretty supportive of it. So
I saw a video where they're like, I think this is my mom being made fun of online. What was the reaction to that one?
I thought it was hilarious because it was a guy dressed up as a mom showing the cornfield, and I even laughed at it. So I thought it was funny when they showed me, and you got to laugh at yourself sometimes.
Rachel, I think the biggest thing is that means you've made it.
I don't know about that, but you know, I have fun doing it, and hopefully some people laugh. So,
What is it that we need to have more humor in our life, more humor when we're learning, and a more exploration of how our food is grown? Put all those things together for me in one bucket.
absolutely. So, I was a 4 H leader for 18 years. And to be in 4 H, you had to give a presentation, whether you showed at county fair or not. And those kids were so scared. And here we are as adults preaching to these kids. You have to stand up and give a presentation. You have to be able to talk in front of a crowd. And when I was apprehensive about making videos, I kept telling that to myself. I preach this to my kids and to my 4-Hers. There's no reason why I can't do it as well. And it's been a learning curve for me. But, I also reflect back a lot to 4-H projects. When you're getting judged at your county fair or state fair, it's okay to admit when something doesn't go right. We like to hear this did not work or that was a total flop. And if you saw this year, my red painted corn stalk, it fell over. I don't know why. I don't know if a deer ate it or it just didn't like the paint this year, but it's okay to show that something doesn't go perfectly right too. So it's a learning experience for us all.
I guess I didn't even ask. Tell me what you exactly do and when you do it, and there's a method to your madness.
Sure. So when I paint it when it's about knee high. And I usually paint one stalk. This year, because of America's 250th birthday, I was trying to come up with paint colors. And I thought, what, I'm just going to do red, white, and blue for America's birthday. And then on day 7, I paint a second stalk. And this year it would have been a fourth stalk. But just so you can see day 0 to 7, and you can watch how that paint fades away. And then you have day 7 to 14. So you can see the difference in those stalks, how much has grown from those days forward.
And you have some paint that still exists today, right? Here
Yes.
we're early to mid part of the month of August when we record this. So barely more than a month, and there's still some paint. Do you think you will still see that come October or September, whenever harvest is?
We do. We see it every year. We know where our painted corn stalks are, and so we watch for them. And then I try to do an update video in September or October whenever we harvest and show you if it produced an ear, if it didn't, and just let you know, hey, today's the day that we're harvesting it. So it's a fun little journey.
And early on, you record, or maybe not record, but you show pictures early on in those days, right? And then that kind of falls off a little bit because it's gone.
Right. Well, yes, I take pictures day 0 when I paint it, and then I do it for at least 2 weeks. And then I'll come back throughout the season and show, because once it hits day 14, there's still some growing. I like to watch to see when the tassels happen. And usually that's about a week later. And then I show, when it puts on an ear or what the ears look like. So, and then we just wait for our ears of corn to fill out and dry down for harvest.
I guess you can answer this or not. I guess I don't know. Is this field visible for people to drive by, see, go out and get their own pictures, or do you hide it?
No. So I have it on a lane, but it's only a lane that my brother and I access, or people that come here access. So everyone's very respectful of it. And yeah, it's not something that you can just drive by and be like, oh, I should take a picture by it. Maybe I should do that next year, Paul. Maybe I could put it along the road, and then people can watch from the roadway.
It's the agritourism side of, if you go back to 2020, you remember when all of a sudden there were sunflower fields, and then there were these farmers who had the sunflowers. They're like, please stop traipsing on our property, because everybody was looking for something to do. But there's your opportunity for next year. Do two different places.
There you go. I could. That's a really good idea. Thank you.
As long as I don't have to do the work, I'm very happy to come up with ideas, Rachel.
Great.
Let's go back, if we could, to the field itself. Southeast Iowa, Washington. Are you in a garden spot, a dry spot? What's the 2026 crop looking like?
So it's been kind of touch and go for us. It's a river bottom field, and so we're off of the Skunk River. And when central Iowa, Des Moines, Ames, when you guys get hammered with rain, the Skunk River rises. And so it really raises the water table for us. We had some challenges May into June, a lot of uneven spots just because the water table was so high. I mean, thank God for all the rain that we've gotten, right? And it hasn't flooded. But yeah, that's been an issue for us down here in southeast Iowa. I'd say the crops look really well, as long as they haven't been hit with hail or the
To,
storms we've been getting.
right. I mean, from what I can see behind you, everything looks nice and tall. I'm seeing good ears. Earlier, I saw some good silking. Are we in that everything pretty much two-eared, or is there occasionally some three showing up?
Ooh, sometimes we get really excited. Those are usually on the end rows, though, and the ends, the double, 3, 4, 5 ears that people get excited for. Maybe in our lifetime, we'll see it across the entire field.
What has been in your time of doing these videos, recognition that you get publicly asked to speak about it, asked to talk about it? What has that journey been for you?
Um, people like it's just fun to me to meet the people that I've met on TikTok that follow across the US and check in. And there was a guy that messaged me. This is what makes me happy. There's kids that watch it. It's pretty PG, and they'll wait for me to post my videos at night. One girl sent me a video. Well, she had her dad send it. A video of braiding the husks on the edge of the corn. This is probably not the best example since we're in the shade, but that was fun. I did a video for that little girl in another state, just of me braiding the corn silks. So yeah, it's fun for me that all different ages can enjoy it, and hopefully they find joy in it. And yeah, it's exciting to me to talk about it.
You also have a strong involvement with the swine industry, is that right? Pork?
Yes.
Do the two mix well? Do you get recognized at one event? Hey, aren't you? And the other one, aren't you? Does that happen too?
It does happen. My Iowa Farm Mama videos, they're pretty rustic. I don't usually do a lot of hair and makeup. It's pretty in the element of my brother and I working on the farm. And then my pork industry news videos, my Pride of Pork videos that I do. And when I'm up at pork shows, I'm also on the Iowa Pork PR committee as a volunteer, but I kind of look a little bit different, more business like. And so sometimes people put it together, sometimes people don't. So, yeah.
Well, I have to admit, when you and I met in real life last November in Cedar Falls, it was like, oh, I'd seen your content. I'd seen the ears over the years, and we've been friends online for a while. And to see you come up in person, it didn't click. So I apologize when I first saw you, because I think you were like, who does he, oh, this Paul guy, what's he doing? He doesn't know. Does that
Well, you
happen
faked
often?
it. You faked it really well because you were very, very kind. So yeah. And, I've talked about this too. Oh, our corn that we raise, we sell to a lot of pork producers that buy corn. So it goes hand in hand.
When I remember covering the Peterson brothers in Kansas when they started. I mean, they were kind of like that first farming social media family, and now now they have kids, which gets me emotional. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're dads now. That's great. But that is important to have that connection, I think, to, we talked about it earlier, the connection to the non-farm and the farm side of things. So tell me, where do you see this going here in the next 5 to 10 years with our social media experience in agriculture?
I think people are curious and they want to know, is that really true? Or does that really happen? And with technology, you can kind of look it up and see if it is true or false. And I just think that will continue to grow. And I think people should not be afraid of sharing their story or showing people, whether it's something quirky or fun or just something you're really passionate about. There's so many different things that you can go look up and learn about.
Farm ambassadors. Not everybody's always willing to accept visitors on their farm. Give me the pitch to someone who might be listening to this on why they should maybe change their tune or be a little more open to someone different come to their place and kind of find out what's going on.
I think if someone's wanting to come to your farm and see how you do things, I think it's a perfect avenue for them to experience what farm life is like and hear your struggles and hear your successes. And it makes people think and it makes it just feel more real to them. And not everybody gets to go on a farm. So if you maybe don't want to have someone coming to your farm to visit, this is the next best way of you sharing your story and telling people how or why you do things.
I mean, the easy follow-up is how and why do you do the things that you do?
The reason I do the things that I do is I just want people to know. There's a lot of great ag content creators out there talking about how we do things. And it's funny to me because I even tell other farm talk people, I'm so used to corn and soybeans right here in Iowa that when you go to Nebraska or South Dakota, North Dakota, the different crops that are grown that I learn from and their successes, their problems. So it's nice to have people that you can turn to in other states when you're questioning something or you just don't know who to ask. And they're pretty inviting and they're very helpful.
Who were some of the people you followed early on before you started doing some of the social media on your own?
Rob Sharkey, Rob and Emily Sharkey, a shark farmer. Yep, growing corn. And his wife, Ryan Peters. Oh boy, who are some other ones? There's some people that are still on there and some people who aren't, but they were a big inspiration in getting me to talk on camera and share my story. And they made it look fun and easy. When I got started, it wasn't so easy, but it's become more fun over time.
Well, let's see if the technology is going to last here. Can we go get a tour of what's where and show us the paint? Can you give us a tour?
Absolutely, Paul. So the painted corn plants, the ones that I've been posting about on the internet this summer, red, white, and blue, those were painted day 0. It was around, I want to say June 23rd. It was about knee high. Day 7 would have been the second batch or the white corn plant that I painted on day 7. So you can see how much paint has changed in day 0 to day 7. I want to guess around day 18, 21-ish is when the tassels started popping out, which is what we as farmers hope for and want. So the purpose of the tassels popping out is to fertilize these silks on our cobs of corn to make those fill out. And I'll take you in here too. So for size comparison, I'm 5'5", and there's a couple of feet up there of a corn plant. It's just so magical to me to see how much a single seed can grow into these beautiful corn plants. Luckily for us this year, we talked about earlier, the rain, the water. We have had these fields flood. I'm so grateful. We've really had no issues this year with flooding. So I hope the storms stay away and our corn continues to thrive. So thank you for touring our
our painted corn stalk, our fields, our farms. We're so grateful for the opportunity to be here once again.
We are produced at Iowa PBS. Our production supervisor is Sean Ingracia. His crew is Reed Denker, Kevin Rivers, Julie Knudsen, Neil Kyer, and David Feingold. The executive producer of Market to Market is David Miller. I'm Paul Yeager. We'll see you next time.